Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is everybody's favorite podcast. And by everybody, I mean a very narrow section of the population. Mostly people within our kind of immediate friend sphere, family, acquaintance, maybe. This is, of course, the Menacing Podcast. We've been off for a little bit.
Yes.
Hot second there. And we're back, and we actually have 3 times more menacing sprinkled in throughout each episode. So get ready. Buckle up. There it is. There he is. The voice that sits across the table from me. Just the voice.
Yes.
He himself is at a different location. Not really, but with me is Brent.
What's going on?
And we are down one. We're not quite as menacing.
Oh, yes.
Or maybe we're more menacing. I don't know.
Possibly.
Kind of how the audience viewed John. He'll be back eventually. Goodness knows when. But welcome, folks. We were on a brief hiatus, and we are back with all new episodes of the Menacing Podcast. Same, you're going to get the same. This is interesting, Brent, actually.
Okay.
In our hiatus, I was listening to some other podcasts, and actually some podcasts by famous people, right? Something we're very close to being, but not quite.
Yeah,
some famous stand-up comedians even, with their own podcast. And I was listening to them, and I was like, for the first 15 minutes of one of these podcasts with a famous comedian, he just rambled. And I was like, we take a bunch of criticism for the way you know what? I think our podcasts were far more interesting. So we just got to get it out there to the general audience here. So spread the word. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
We're the good thing you can spread around.
Yeah, exactly. So we're back. And you can reach us at a new email at menacing... No, sorry, not at. That's for Twitter. We got to get the Twitter back out. Excuse me. Menacing Podcast. We switched from the old, Menacing Millennials moniker.
That was way too many M's.
Yeah, that was. Menacingpodcast at gmail.com is the new email address. I'm not going to spell it. I'm done with those days. Look it up. There's the internet. You can figure it out. If you send it to the wrong place, maybe you'll get a response from somebody. Maybe you've emailed some African prince who needs assistance from you. Give him all your money. Maybe needs a wife.
There you go.
African princes need those too.
Yes.
You'd be a princess and maybe someday queen. Unless he's like Prince Harry, then you're going to be SOL on that.
And the title doesn't matter.
You're just going to be the spare, if you will.
Well, isn't Henry like 4th in... Why are we talking about the monarch again? But anyways, isn't he like 5th in line?
Well, Henry is not. No, Harry is not in line.
Harry.
I mean, well, he would be after probably quite a ways down, but it's through what's his face, William.
Yeah, I know, but William only has one son, doesn't he?
I don't know.
So it would go whoever's there right now, Charles.
Yep.
It would go Charles, and then William, and then William's sons.
Yep.
And then Harry.
And then Harry. So he's like 4th.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many sons William has, and then how many sons
William's son has.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
or
the line
sons.
continues on that
Yeah,
way.
Yeah. Suck it, Harry.
Yep.
But, just a real quick poke at the monarch real quick.
Yes, we got to throw that in there. I wonder what the ranks are in the British monarchy. We know that. We've been down that road.
We don't need to dive down there.
Don't need to go back there. Educational podcast. So, Brent, how you feeling being back behind the old microphone?
Pretty good. I'm gonna kind of miss what I was doing in between podcasts. I started up ghost hunting. It was riveting.
Fantastic. Ghost hunting. Did you catch anything?
A cold.
Yeah, yep.
That was.
Well, that's the sign that there's a ghostly presence near you.
Yes.
There's a cold that.
Well, it was crazy. I walked into many a haunted place.
Yes.
And I walked in with all my equipment.
Yes.
And I was like, if there's a ghost here or any entity, don't say or do anything.
Yes.
Everywhere I went, they listened to me.
Wow.
Like,
so there was
this place is haunted.
always something there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I took off like Shaggy. I was out.
Yeah, because, wow, that's amazing. That's, whew. But you didn't catch any.
I didn't catch anything.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
That'd be scary.
Yeah.
What would you do with that?
I don't know. Put it up in the museum? Just,
right.
I got this. I don't know.
Is...
Take a picture with it like I caught it like a fish.
But I think it's between the thumbs that you measure a ghost, right?
Yeah. Yep.
See if it's a keeper.
Yeah. Unfortunately, fortunately, I didn't catch anything, and I didn't have to throw anything back. So, it was. But everywhere I went, there was not a peep. I was out.
They were always there.
Yeah, always there.
They did exactly what you told them to do.
Yeah.
Oof.
Well, they're polite then. That's probably why I didn't. I
think ghosts get a bad rap.
Yeah. I think they're polite ones. They're like, "Ooh, he said don't say anything. Let's
respect his wishes.
Yeah. Let's step back."
No, I'm with you there. So ghost hunting.
Yeah. I might dabble in it on the weekends, but yeah.
Isn't it? Did you get a television series on Travel Channel?
I did not.
No. Okay.
No.
That's a shame.
No.
That seems to be all Travel Channel is these days. It's just
hunting.
ghost adventures, ghost hunting, Bigfoot. They're searching for Bigfoot out there too.
Is it? I heard through the grapevine, just because that's kind of like what I'm connected to now. Like ghost hunting, Sasquatch,
You're
like that
connected
stuff.
to the grapevine.
Yeah. His new name is Satch.
Satch?
Or
like Satchmo, like Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, just Satch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because we're getting too lazy to say Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So
Satch.
Or is it squash? No, it's Satch.
Or is it Satch? Do you have to have the S? Sask.
No.
We cut out all the middle stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I found out something else. There's something called Riz. Have you heard of Riz? Not a ghost thing.
Riz?
Yeah, like he threw his Riz or something. So Riz, I don't know.
I have not.
I think.
Can you use it in a context here?
I think that was contact.
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure it's like right along the lines of ick.
There used to be the TV show Rizzoli and Isles.
No,
it's okay. Not the same thing.
It's just Rizz.
It's two Z's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's like right up there with ick. Didn't we talk about ick once?
Did we?
I don't know.
That's a disease fish get.
Yeah. What?
Ick.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Get like a mold on the outside of them.
Gross.
Yeah, you might get that cleared up quick.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Especially since I have scales, so I don't know what the mole is growing.
It's the ick.
It's the ick. Beware the ick.
Easiest named illness ever because you pick up the ick. Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that even when they touch a fish. Ick.
That is very true. Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's slimy. No, it's okay. It's what you do, fish. Just give me the fish.
They are slimy.
Oh, okay.
And they smell of fish.
A fish smells of fish?
Well, I know it's a shocker. It doesn't taste like chicken.
Color me surprised. Supplied. Well, color me supplied.
Yes, of course. As the saying goes, that's Riz.
I don't know what.
So, do we have an answer? You don't actually know. You're just asking.
No, I was legitimately asking you. Like, I didn't know what you were doing on your time off.
Of course, Rizzoli and Isles did come out. So, of course, you would bring this up. Riz is a slang term for someone's skill in charming or seducing a potential romantic partner, especially through verbal communication. So you're safe there, Brent.
Oh, good.
My
looks are
it is most commonly applied in the context of men pursuing women, but that's outdated, so we got to get that updated. But not always.
They presuming them.
Yeah, yes. The term can be used as a noun or verb, depending on the sentence. For example, he's got serious riz. Or she's got so much riz.
Oh, okay.
The term was coined by YouTuber and Twitch streamer. Of course it was.
What the heck is Twitch?
Well, that's like a gaming streaming service. Like you stream yourself playing games.
Okay.
It's quite popular.
Okay.
Get with the times. I know it's not a newspaper.
Yeah.
Streamer Kai Cenat around mid-2021, so 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I love how in mid-2021, like it was a long time ago.
Could have just been like 2 years ago.
The term was coined by YouTuber and Twitch streamer Kai Cenat. I'm going to read it like I'm a guy in an old documentary.
Yeah, there you go.
Around mid-2021.
2021.
And popularized on TikTok. It was possibly coined as a phonetic shortening of charisma.
See, we are getting lazy. Can't even say charisma. Riz.
Charisma. 3 syllables. Riz, 1, done.
Okay.
1 and done. It's like sus. Do you know what sus means?
No.
Let's have a
suspect?
Yes.
Suspicious?
He's suspicious.
Okay. Well, we're all becoming, well, not we. I don't want to lump myself into this. But a lot of people are becoming the Kevins of the world. From The Office.
Did he abbreviate stuff?
Oh, he took out unnecessary words in sentences to save time.
Oh, yes.
So apparently we're almost at that point where people are just going to start going, Riz sus.
This is, though, like a regression, right? Because we used to do this when you had to text on just the keyboard that had had 3 letters on each key, and
except for the last one had 4.
And you were also getting charged per
text,
per not even text, but per
oh my goodness, I know what you're.
Yeah, what is that? Oy vey, because it wasn't per text.
Hey, you can't.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's one of your people's lines. My apologies. I didn't mean to. That was cultural appropriation at its finest. I don't know if cultural appropriation counts with the Jews. Though.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
Yes.
But it would be
character.
Yes,
by the
character. Oh my goodness. I was thinking to myself, it's in Twitter. Like you can only have so many of these.
Yes.
Characters. Yes.
So that back in the day, these youngins wouldn't understand what we went through back in the day. We had to do things a lot differently than they do now.
They don't even know what the dialing keypad looks like.
Oh my word, no! I remember. My great grandmother had a rotary phone still. That was her home phone. That was. I always used to love that thing. I would love going over there and
just
making long distance phone calls from a rotary.
Start with 0. Hello? Are they?
You would try to make. You couldn't really make long distance phone calls with there because you'd forget where you were halfway through dialing the number because you have to do it, wait for it to spin back, do it again. There was no fast way of dialing it.
But see, that was a genius plan because that cut down on all the drunk dialing.
Yeah, there was no.
Would you take your time being drunk going?
Well, it was.
You know what? I'm done. I can't even.
Where's operator?
Click. I'm good.
But see, that did work, though, back when you only used to dial 3 numbers. Okay. Operator, I need 0513. Patch me through, please.
Patching you through.
Thanks, doll.
Now, don't listen in the call.
Why don't you go and unplug that there thing there, doll, so you don't listen in on the call.
Men are speaking, see?
Yeah. Yes.
Did he just turn into a gangster?
Back in the good old days. Listen to this broad on the other line here.
Oh my God. But I mean, hey, you know what though? Even hitting up the operator. I mean, that had to cut down on drunk dialing too, right?
Yes, we are.
Because if you can't remember the number very well.
Hey, could you pass me through to Michael?
Yeah, and then...
sir, could you be more specific, please? Michael.
Don't pretend like you don't know.
There's like 10 people in this town. I want to talk to Michael.
9 of them are named Michael.
Well, put me through to him.
And then Michelle.
Yeah, I'll talk to her, too. I stood her up for coffee last week.
Exactly. Like, come on. We should go back to that where you... Even if you had the dial where you actually had to type the hit the numbers. Like, you remember when it became 3D and it was it was just right on the phone. You just hit the numbers and you're like, all right. Like, even that, like, I think that would slow your roll on drunk dialing a little bit.
Yeah.
And not only that, it takes away all texting. So
well, yeah, you don't. Yeah,
there's no confusion.
Drunk texting.
Yeah, no confusion.
No sending pictures to people. Like, hey, it's just.
Can you see somebody traveling back in time and be like, what's this? Oh, click selfie. Where's the picture?
Where did it go?
It just sent right through. You don't even get to see it. Like,
see, back in our day, if you wanted to take pictures, you had to send them off to the pharmacy, where some creepy guy would look through them to see what your family's been up to.
Yeah. And
then he'd keep the ones that he liked.
Yeah.
I thought I had more than this.
I had 26 pictures, right? Yeah, there's only 23.
Or when you open up the camera and forget that you're opening it up, and you just
right
wind
in the sunlight.
Yeah, in the sunlight, and
well,
you've ruined the family vacation.
And then we came out with digital, so you could take the picture and then see the picture right away.
Yes.
You're like, all right, how does that look? No? Okay.
Terrible.
And now
Please
we're
delete
on
it.
cell phones, and people are taking pictures whenever, however they want. It's like, can we please not see that anymore? I don't care how cool your dog fetches. I don't want to see it anymore.
Oh, boy. Okay. I might be one of those people.
I love dogs, but we don't care about your cats.
Actually, I think that's all the internet was actually created for, was for
cat.
cat pictures and videos.
Well, I think pets.
Cats have a unique place, though. Dogs are catching up. They're starting to catch up a little bit, but I think cats still kind of have that unique place. Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yeah. That's why Al Gore was like, Al Gore created the internet. He created it because
thank you. I created the internet.
He created it because he had a plethora of cats flying around.
He's a cat guy.
He's like, what would be cool if I created something where I could show the entire world my cat collection.
I'm going to save the environment with cats.
I'm a genius.
I'm also very lonely. Yeah, I mean, he probably takes them on his private jet with him everywhere he goes, to be honest. Like,
to save the planet.
Well, now here's a theory here, Brent.
Oh, okay. I like theories. Is this
you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist?
Is this conspiracy?
This is a conspiracy theory. Al Gore is controlled by cats.
Ooh, I think that's theory, not even conspiracy.
I'm throwing this out here. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
It does. It really does. He's twitchy.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, when you don't agree with him, he looks at you condescendingly, like, "Why are you even here?" And you're like, "It's my house, bro."
He randomly knocks things off of elevated surfaces.
Yes. That's why Biden's been falling a lot. He's been setting up traps.
Yes.
Gore's like, "Watch this."
Al Gore keeps.
That sounded like Bush, though.
They're both Southern boys. Different parts of the South.
Yeah, I know, but I just like a Bush.
That's right. Have you ever heard Al Gore?
I try
more
not
like
to.
Meow. No, but that's why. No, on the floor, on the hardwood, not the carpet. Come on. But that makes sense because why Biden is tripping, because Al Gore keeps leaving his yarn around everywhere.
Yes,
Al's been. That's why at the most recent one he's pointed down. He's like, he left his yarn.
Yeah, he's like, come on,
kid.
And the candidate,
we have a litter box,
right? That's why the candidates were like, no, that makes sense. There is yarn strewn out.
It's all over. That's why after all of those Coppa Field 26s or those environmental things they go to all the time. That's why they always have the yarns strewn about the place.
Yeah, and they can no longer blame it on Queen Elizabeth.
No, yeah.
So,
God save the Queen, man. But
well, if he didn't by now, it's too late.
Yeah,
Not to be insensitive, England, but
you're really trying to be insensitive to England.
She did.
What have they ever done to us?
What have they done to us? I mean, they did try to take us over once.
We wouldn't be here without them.
Three times the country. And all 3 times, guess what? Queen Elizabeth was there.
That's. I don't know if that's true, but I.
Okay.
I also don't feel like looking it up, so I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, suck it, internet.
I'm not sure why we're attacking the internet.
I felt, I don't know. My canine maybe came out.
That's right. You have your sixth cat scent there.
Yeah.
So,
do you have any, like, so what's been going on with you? I know that
I was ill prepared for starting the podcast tonight. I apologize.
That's fine.
I didn't prepare anything. That's,
No. So what have you done on? I was ghost hunting. What were you doing?
Yeah. Well,
I want to hear what you were doing.
I wish I was doing something as interesting as ghost hunting. I can't necessarily say I was doing anything super interesting. It's really driving to and from work.
Oh, sure.
Working a little bit at one end,
sure,
and then driving back home.
Oh, I thought you worked at home. Okay, yeah.
No,
okay.
I'm not.
I got that mixed up in my head.
No, I'm not a fancy enough person to have the work from home job.
No, I just meant you went to work, got paid, and then came home and actually just worked.
That seems to be life. Just constant work.
All right, fair enough.
I like to. You see people along the side of the road and stuff when you're driving. A lot of people break down, and I don't really have any particular set of skills. I realized when. Those moments when you're driving past somebody on the highway and they're broken down, it's like, I can't do anything for you.
Were you like Liam Neeson when you pass these? I don't have a particular set
the opposite of Liam Neeson. I have no particular set of skills. Maybe
like, good luck. You're like, thank you.
Maybe if there was like a pop-up improv troupe on the side of the road, I could jump in and my skills would be useful there.
Okay.
If you got a flat tire or something wrong with your car, I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy who's going to be stopping and helping you.
You jump out, you kick the tire. Yep, it's flat, and hop back.
I can confirm. I can confirm the worst.
You're the consult.
Yes, I'm a consultant.
Yeah, you're like
that should be that would be my great job, a roadside consultant. I can see a car, I can jump out. Yeah, that's on fire. And then jump back in and
take off. Yeah.
That'd be $1,200, please.
Roadside assistance, right there.
Roadside consultation.
Yes, I like it.
And then I can wait for a little extra. I can wait for the roadside assistant to show up, and I can be like, it's on fire.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, ablaze.
So peace out. $1,600, please.
I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, that's all right.
You brought that up, and it reminds me of a time where I was at the gas station. And I look over at this lady. She was younger than me. But I look over at this young lady.
Oh, that leaves a
broad
spectrum of ages that could be younger than you. Decades.
Yeah, decades.
Decades of ages.
So I look over and she's weeping, like full out, just bawling, and I'm like,
I shouldn't be laughing. I don't know. My apologies. This is somber.
Like, oh my goodness. So I pump my fuel. I pay. I come back out. She's still there. Just all out tears. She gets out of her car. And I'm like, whoa. I am not being roped into this.
Uh-oh.
And being the person that I am, I'm just like, I don't mean... Because she's on the phone. And I'm like, I don't mean to interrupt. But can I help you with something? And she goes, my car won't move. And I'm like, okay. And I saw that she had some scrubs on, so I didn't know if she was like coming from work or coming from school. She must have had a stressful day, and I was just like, okay, do you mind if I take a look in your car or look at your car? And she's like, no, please. And I was like, okay, can I get in your car? She's like, please, just. And I jump in and I'm like looking around. It started up, and I was like, all right, cool. And I put it in drive, and I was like, oh, she's right, it isn't moving. I'm like, okay, I think I know what the problem is. She goes, okay, what? I was like, it's not going to cost you a thing. She goes, okay, good. I was like, your parking brake's on. And she goes, oh my God, how'd that get on? And I was like, I don't know. She goes, how do you take it off? I'm like, I don't know. It's your car. Because it was like a newer parking brake.
Oh, was it the push button?
Yeah, it was the button.
Oh, you could easily bump that.
So I quickly looked at her manual and I was like, oh, you just press the brake, you hit the button there. And I was like, there, try it. And she took off. She goes, oh my goodness, thank you. I was like, okay. I walk around her car to get back into mine. And there's a guy that pulled up to the pump behind me. He goes, hey, Mr. Mechanic. I'm like, not a mechanic.
Nope, no thank you.
He goes, do you know how to shut hoods? No, I wish I was making this up. I was like, okay, your request is more ridiculous than what just happened. Like that, I can understand. You don't know how to shut a hood, sir?
I love that. That's great.
I was like, yeah. I didn't
How long was that guy driving around with his... Like, I envision it like the hood up over his windshield, and he's been driving around town. Like,
his hair is just blown back from the wind.
There's an old lady with a walker smashed to the front of like, help me. He's been driving around for hours.
Cross out. Finally stopped. I was like, yeah, I can try to help you.
This isn't my home.
So I was like, yeah, I can try to help you out. And I slammed the hood, and I was like, it's latched. He goes, oh, hey, thanks. Yeah.
Excuse me, mister. Mister?
I know, I was like...
It's weird, there's this green light on the dashboard flashing to the right. I don't what is that? Is it... I don't know what it wants me to do.
It's saying, no, you turn here.
But I don't want to turn here.
Is there any... You know what? You need some turn signal... No, write this down.
Yes.
Turn signal fluid. It'll go right off.
Is there a viscosity for that?
No, it's one size.
Okay.
It's one liquid fits all.
Wow, thanks, mister.
But you just said roadside assistance, and I was like, oh. Yeah.
I don't know why Kermit the Frog ended up with it.
Well, you know.
Oh, there's something green flashing on. It's not easy being green. Oh, we're okay. Disney sued us there. That's my apologies.
Are the Muppets owned by Disney?
Yeah, they are. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah.
They own everything.
Well, they actually kind of do now. They own Hulu.
Yeah.
The streaming service Hulu.
And ESPN.
And ABC.
Oh, great. So they're just destroying everything that was once good.
Yes, and now they own 20th Century Fox.
Gross.
Ironically enough, they did not purchase the part that includes Fox News.
They're like, you know what? We're going to just cut out this sliver.
Yeah, we just want to we want everything but Fox News.
Yeah.
Which is probably better off for Fox News.
Oh, yeah. But Fox News, I've been seeing some...
There's a joke here about Goofy getting in. Oh, all right. Time for the news.
Okay. You must have watched a lot of Goofy growing up.
Oh, I loved Goofy. I actually liked Pluto more.
Because he didn't talk.
Yeah, no, he's not a planet. That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Hear about Pluto?
Messed up. No, but that's, so besides your roadside consulting, anything else?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of starting that, and then I'm really thinking of going into business for this for sure. I
just have an app.
I never really thought this was an idea until
you can turn anything
getting together with you. So
you're welcome. I only want 10%.
It's like on Shark Tank.
Yes.
I'll take 10% for $500,000.
Yes.
Do you watch Shark Tank?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you would enjoy Shark Tank.
No.
Have you ever watched Shark Tank?
I watched the Dragons, but no.
Dragon's Den?
Yes.
Which is what it's a spin-off of.
Yeah. No, I don't watch either. Sorry.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just never got into it. And Cuban rubs me the wrong way.
You know, there's more people than Mark Cuban on the show.
Yeah, but...
There's actually an interesting fact. I'm going to get into the weeds here a little bit. So,
Good.
Mr. Wonderful. Do you know him from...
No, you
don't know...
Mr. Wonderful?
How do you not know Mr. Wonderful? He's the bald-headed guy from
That's Mr.
Shark Tank. No... It is Mr. Oh yeah, he's one of the investors. No, Kevin O'Leary.
I didn't know. It's so weird that you have a nickname for him.
It's his nickname.
On
the show.
Sure.
If you've ever watched it. You say you've watched it, but I don't actually believe
I haven't.
You have.
I never said that I watched the show.
I thought you said, why? You've just said, oh, well, Mark Cuban's on it. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to watch it.
My word.
I knew that he was on the show. Doesn't mean that I watched the show. It's like saying that I knew that what's his name had a show. I never watched it.
Who's watching?
Oh,
That's very vague.
No, it's not.
Oh, you're
the Orange Man.
Are you talking about?
Yes.
Are you talking about my show, the greatest show in the history of shows?
Yeah, that
it was the best show. Mark
yeah.
Cuban is nothing on my show.
That show.
I would never have Mark Cuban on my show.
Didn't he? Oh, maybe he didn't.
Mike, did he go on?
Yeah.
Oh, he might have.
Because didn't that doofus have, like, celebrity?
Look, as we've learned, the truth really doesn't matter to Trump. It's
That's
just
true.
he plays fast and loose with it.
Just,
He's never been on the show. I don't care if there's episodes showing he's on it. He's never been on it. I never said he could be on it. He planted those classified documents in my house.
there you go. Yeah. I like the work on the Trump voice.
Actually, I'm a little rusty. I haven't done it in a while. We were at a family party on this past weekend, and my brother-in-law, who listens to the podcast.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And so he knows. We apologize.
Your choice, though.
And he knows that I do the Bernie impression. So here he is in the middle of the family gathering going, well, yeah, Russ, you're pretty funny. You do a Bernie Sanders impression. He's like, oh, I did deny doing it. I didn't do it for the crowd. I owe him one, though. That's what that means.
Oh, goodness. You know what? Give him a call. Do it over the phone. We don't need to hear that.
It's been a while since... the audience loves the impressions.
I think that's your impression.
They've never had they love the impressions. It's so good. They ask me to do it all the time when I'm walking down a street in Vermont. I see a rich capitalist pig walking around. I'm very, very poor, as everybody knows.
Sure. The poorest in
That's why wear mittens. Poor people wear mittens. Everybody knows it.
We can't afford the extra finger space.
What are you gonna? You got to cut out four other fingers?
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of money. You got to pay somebody to do that.
It's like extra material.
Fat cats aren't going to pay somebody to do that. So I owe my brother-in-law a Bernie Sanders.
I think you just did it.
Is that the one? Okay. Well,
he paid back.
Take that.
Yeah. And if he doesn't listen, guess what? On him.
Yeah, that's
Yours, your choice.
He's a listener.
Okay.
Well, we'll see if we get some of our listeners back. That's the.
Yeah. Oh man. So
yeah, not really much going on. I actually, kind of want to, as we get back into the podcasting a bit, using it as a platform to kind of work out some stand-up comedy.
Oh, very fun
bits. Get some feedback on that. I'd like to get back into stand-up comedy.
Oh, sure.
So I've been writing a little bit of it.
Very cool.
Right now, it's just a bunch of disjointed thoughts that I need to connect the strings to build an actual set. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So otherwise, life's been pretty good. What?
Speaking of which,
I prefer sit-down comedy though.
Yeah, because it's not as tough.
Yeah, it's not as intensive as standing up. Whoever going back to that first guy who did stand-up comedy, he had a choice.
What
he could have done? He could have done lay-down comedy. He could have done sit-down comedy. He could have done. We're just not going to do comedy at all. It's going to be drama.
Yeah. There you go.
But he chose stand-up comedy.
It would be weird to go see a stand-up dramedy. I'm going to the stand-up dramedy this weekend. Oh, God, no.
My parents died in a car crash on the way to see this show.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
My dog was with them. Yeah, it'd be. We think we have problems with depression now.
There is stand-up dramedy. That's called country songs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bam!
Well, my parents died in a car crash, and my dog was with them.
When I got the news, I spilt my beer.
And that's the worst.
Shed a tear.
That's the worst one of all. But it wasn't Bud Light anymore.
No. Well, at that time, maybe. Yeah. Speaking of which, it's kind of weird.
I interrupted you.
No, it's kind of weird that you have Bud Light here, but that's neither here nor there. I thought maybe. Do you have Okay, I don't want to. You know what? Don't
I bought the Dylan Mulvaney commemorative ones. That's it really appealed to my sensibilities as a consumer.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was what I needed. Yeah,
or as
the person. I don't know why we have to put labels like human on things.
Yeah. During our break, though, we did see each other a couple of times, and one of the times we saw each other was at a stand-up comedy.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. We saw Jim Gaffigan.
Yes. What did you think of it?
He was very funny.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I'm glad you brought this up. It was interesting because it was, Jim Gaffigan was always the family-friendly guy and the Hot Pocket guy, but he's always known for his clean comedy. Lately, he's kind of moved in a bit of a more edgy place, which I understand. I can actually get that as an aspiring comedian myself. You know, if you do the clean stuff for so long, you want to move to kind of an edgier place. I think there's a place for it. I think actually, if I can get maybe really philosophical here for a moment, I think stand-up comedy is a bastion for free speech. And so I think allowing stand-up comedians to be crass and even vulgar, while I don't, do that myself, I think it's important to keep that in there somewhere, to keep people making the inappropriate jokes. Yeah. Because I think it's important for free speech.
I agree. And what I also like, too, is I agree, Gaffigan. Actually, I think his first stand-up, he did use a little bit more language, and then he kind of tapered off. And I think now, because he's got like 5 kids and his wife survived brain cancer.
There was that joke he made about where he made the joke about brain cancer where his wife they're at a restaurant and she
man, I forgot it.
Oh shoot, so did I.
Well,
I guess we'll have to have Jim on the podcast. Try to get him on the podcast to explain the joke there. But it was very funny where he was like eating everything and she was not. And the waiter would come up and he'd be like, "Oh no, she has brain cancer. She had brain cancer." Something along those lines. I definitely didn't do it justice, so I would not quote me on that. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if we can get Jim on. I doubt it. I call him Jim like we're best friends. Yeah. I figured that's a good way to get him on is if he thinks, because he'll listen and he'll be like, I must be close to this man.
Well, I mean, him and I talked after the show, and that's not hyperbole or a joke.
Did you really talk to him after the show?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you like storm the stage? You were why the police presence was converging.
I had to retrieve my boxer shorts. He didn't appreciate that.
I love you, Jim.
Well, when I snapped it, apparently my band snapped him right in the eye.
That's why you were rubbing his eye at the end.
That wasn't...
Makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Actually, no.
You actually spoke to him afterwards?
Yes.
In person?
My wife and I, yep. We went to a restaurant downtown, and I saw his opening act come into that restaurant, and I turned around, and I was like, "Hey, man," and I shook his hand. I go, "Was just at the show. Thought you were great. Keep it up." He's like, "Thank you." And then my wife goes, "Jim is right behind you," because I only saw the opening act, like the guy that opened for
you only saw him,
and I didn't even, and I was like,
what?
And I turned around, and my wife and I had a quick conversation with Jim. No picture though, because his publicist or manager or whatever is like, well, if we start taking pictures, then everybody's gonna want a picture. Which, okay, I understand.
I get it.
But the couple next to us leaned over and was like, "Who was that?" We're like,
"What?"
We're like, "Jim Gaffigan." They're like, "Yeah, who?
What?"
We're like, "Stand-up comedian." Yeah, he would have been mobbed for a picture, apparently.
Yeah, they were in real danger there.
Yeah, it's like...
Well, and Brent, actually, you have done a little stand-up as well.
Yeah, very little.
You've toyed around with it.
Yeah.
I'd love this to be a platform for us to work out, our comedy bits, because I think you are funny. I say that just to be polite.
Yeah, I got you.
It is interesting, though, going back to Jim Gaffigan. So my wife and I had seen the comedian Greg Warren.
Oh, I love Greg.
He's hilarious.
Now, him and I aren't first. I can call him up right now.
Why haven't you? Okay,
I
was waiting to see where you were going with this because
you were like, "Oh my goodness, dreams are about to come true."
I did get to because he waits. So I'll get to that in a moment here. No, you're fine. So we saw him at a place called Dr. Grimm's.
Yeah.
Much smaller. It's funny to see the difference because you have Jim Gaffigan at the sold out arena.
Yeah.
And you have Greg Warren
at a sold out bar.
At just like a comedy club.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even sold out, but there were a lot of people there and it was a fun time. But But the crowd size by comparison was amazing. And so but even also Greg Warren has a new comedy special on YouTube called The Salesman.
Okay.
I would highly recommend it.
All right. He's another good clean one.
He is a good clean one and he's funny as all get out. He's hilarious, and I think he's really starting to take off. So I'm very happy to see that because he's funny.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to him after because he stands by the door and like greets people as they go because it's a small venue, right? Yeah. It's not a big deal,
right?
But he plays really well with the audience and bounces off them, and I have a lot of respect for him as a comedian. He's probably not to fangirl too much, but he might be one of my stand-up heroes. Is Greg Warren?
Who's your sit-down hero?
That was Chris Christie. Chris Christie is my sit-down hero. So he's my.
I was going with Anthony or Hawkins. You went right to Chris Christie. All right.
Aliens exist. Yeah, I love that guy too.
Oh my goodness, what was his name? Something Hawkins. It's not
Stephen
Hawkins. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, then you have Tony, which I'm pretty sure is Anthony Hawks. Tony Hawk.
Oh, and his actual name is Anthony Hawk?
I don't know, but usually shorten Anthony to Tony.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
I'm like, Tony Hawkins? I mixed a skateboarder with a physicist.
I actually also shorten Russ to Tony.
Oh, there you go.
So that's just to make it easier for people I know.
Tony? Oh, yeah. Given name is Russ, though.
We just love it. We have such people will come around, they'll be like, what do you like to go by? Because I have a full name, and then Russ, which of course my full name is Henrietta. So I obviously don't want people to call me that. It's really I don't know what my parents were thinking.
Family name?
Yeah, it is. My father was Henrietta, and my grandfather was Henrietta, and his father before him was Jim. But Henrietta, the family name.
Yes, family name.
So people always ask me, what do you go by? I say, I don't care. Just don't call me late for dinner, am I right? Quite right.
Jordal.
Guffaw. So
that was ridiculous.
So there's a lot of good comedy specials out there. And again, seeing Jim Gaffigan, he was very funny. I don't think I said this, but he was hilarious.
Oh, he was.
My wife and I were laughing very hard. And he gets edgy.
Yeah. I love the Abraham jokes. Oh my goodness, the Abraham jokes.
We were talking about how once you've had kids, you understand Abraham. Like,
I like when he was like, he's playing God and he goes, he's up in heaven and he's playing God and Jesus. And he's like, Jesus goes, Dad. He's like, you know what? Yeah, you're going to go down there.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there was some edginess to it. I think a lot of, people could be offended by that. But it's funny. And I think those are important. I think they are important plates. I stand by this. I think it's important for comedians to be edgy. Not all of them. I mostly watch clean comedians, and I keep my comedy clean for the most part.
But he wasn't like edgy in the... Well, I don't think he was edgy to the part of like being offensive. He was edgy, but he wasn't like offensive.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He wasn't offensive.
So I think there's...
And he really took shots at everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
Well, there was... did you ever watch the Jim Gaffigan show? No. He did a TV show on TV Land.
Oh, I did not know that.
And there was an episode where, I forget the exact premise, but he was picking up some Bibles from his wife's church. She's a Catholic.
A Shiite Catholic.
That's... Well, it's actually funny, too. His wife is his writing partner.
Oh, I know.
She writes for him.
Which is hilarious.
Yes.
Which is even more funny.
When you hear all the jokes and realize that his wife helped write all of them. Yeah. So...
Who is this? The devil.
So he had to pick up these Bibles. And he didn't have anything to carry them in. So he puts them in a trash bag.
Oh, my goodness.
And so the whole episode is all of a sudden about this outrage of Jim Gaffigan putting these Bibles in the garbage. And he had Glenn Beck himself as one of in his roles on his show, talking about how Jim Gaffigan hates the Bible. He's throwing them away. And there's all these different perspectives from the left and from the right about him putting the Bibles in a trash can or in a garbage bag.
Yeah. Is that like? Can you still find that show?
I'm sure you can.
Oh, I want to watch it.
Hold on a second.
That sounds great.
I actually loved the Jim Gaffigan show,
especially if he gets the actual like Glenn Beck and actual people like that to to be on the show just for fun. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean...
he did three seasons?
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, 2 seasons.
Okay.
Sorry. But he had to stop it because of his wife's brain cancer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there any place you can watch the show?
I think, like, during that whole time, too, he wrote a book called My Dad is Fat. Apparently
Yes.
that was one of his
And
kids,
he did a comedy special.
one of his kids' first sentences.
Or no, that was the book. That's right. Yeah. So you can get it on YouTube if you're a Primetime subscription, Paramount Plus if you subscribe to that, or apparently Amazon Prime Video as well.
Oh, okay. Now, what's the difference between Prime Video and just Prime?
Well, I think Prime Video is the one you would have to pay for it. So it's available there, but you would have to buy the seasons.
Okay.
Because that's, Amazon.
Wait, so what's the difference between Amazon Prime and Prime Video?
Amazon Prime has...
I see this small explosion going on in your brain.
Does not compute. Well, let me see. So, what did I know?
Because that doesn't make sense. If I pay for Prime,
so
shouldn't I get video?
Well, not all. Well, you do, right? You do get select videos, but you don't get all of them. I think actually this one is included. I don't have Prime Video on my phone at the moment.
Oh, well, we're not gonna post an episode of.
Well, no, but I have. I was gonna see if it was actually for free on
okay,
there because I actually do have Prime. But
very, very nice, very nice.
So yeah, that's his show is available.
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, Prime Video. It's very funny. I actually think the Jim Gaffigan show was very funny.
Yeah, I wonder if he would reconsider picking it back up.
I would hope so.
That
His wife wrote it with him.
Oh, really?
She didn't, because it's about him and he has a wife on the show.
Oh,
and then they have all their kids in an apartment, but it's not his actual wife.
Right.
It's an actress. So his wife just wrote it with him.
Oh, very cool.
I think my wife would help me write stuff.
Yeah?
I should let her do that. She's funny. She's pretty witty.
Would she let you start a sitcom with another woman playing your wife? Ooh.
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
I can't imagine that would go over. But my wife is also a very good actress, so she could actually play my wife.
Oh.
If I did the
Your
Russ
wife playing
show.
your wife? That's not
Who
real.
wants that,
That
right?
would be
Like,
just life.
Yeah. It's a reality TV show at that point.
Yeah. This isn't a sitcom. This is Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
This is too true to life. So
Yeah,
that's that's a good point. I didn't.
Why
think
would
of
I
that.
tune into real life?
Well, everybody does that.
No.
That's yes, they do. Reality TV is huge.
There's no such thing as reality TV.
It's that is also true at the same time.
Like, I like Alone, but I feel like some of it's staged.
Like Survivor,
Survivor,
like all
definitely
of it.
staged.
The Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Oh
You're
my-
telling me though that's not
That
scripted to some extent.
Oh, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Go away.
Get out of here.
Go
Get out of
away.
Dodge. That's yeah. Come
Go.
on. We don't have time for this nonsense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. People are like, I like reality TV. Oh, it's so... No, go away. People are like, but the real world. Nope.
Is that even still on?
No, I don't. Oh, I don't know. I don't watch MTV. I can't believe I remember that it's on MTV, or that it was. But no, it's so ridiculous. Like, don't give me this crap about how it's reality TV. No, if that's reality, like, sign me up.
Yeah. There's a lot of reality shows out there. That's what most of TV is.
Well, reality. I guess that's their truth. I don't know.
Yeah, they're living their truth, but you can't tell them it's not the case.
Yeah, that's their truth.
So before we run out of time here, not that we do, it's a podcast. We can do whatever the heck we want.
Yeah.
Do you have any topics that pop into your head? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Actually, I mean, unfortunately, we will talk about politics because why not?
It's there. It exists. We're not
Yeah.
going to pretend it doesn't.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it affects our lives more than it should. And if you disagree with me, you can stop listening or you can take it up with me. Either way, I don't care, but it is. So that's the right answer. So apparently, I just read an article from The Daily Wire. Yes. Co-CEO is Ben Shapiro. We do like to stick together. saying that China is in
Can
talks.
I say oy vey now?
What's that? Yeah.
That
No.
I don't have permission. I have a Jewish friend. What's the point of having a Jewish friend if you can't use Jewish words?
That way. Okay, fine.
Yes, I have permission.
But apparently China and Cuba have been in
China.
China's huge. But apparently China and Cuba have been in talks for a little while about China building a military base in Cuba. Only 100 miles off the coast of Florida.
I mean, that's a long ways.
Yeah, I mean, a fighter jet can't get to the United States in minutes.
Why?
They can
Why do
break
they
the
need
sound barrier, but
Why do they need a base there when they can very easily float balloons across the United States?
well,
They
because
don't really-
because now they can float the balloon real quick and come back and retrieve the balloon in one piece.
we can't get to it before. Yeah.
Yes,
That makes sense. Yes.
And not only that, our governor, Gretchy Wetchy, she's letting China build a battery company in the state. So now they have a northern point and a southern point.
The Chinese are building a battery plant in Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
That seems like a terrible. Well, that's the problem, right? With EVs is
They're stupid.
well,
They're ridiculous.
I gotta push back on that a little bit.
Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
I don't think EVs in general are stupid.
Okay.
I think letting the free market regulate how we switch to electric, how we advanced vehicles
Well, that's fine.
is a lot better than the government forcing it. I don't agree with government mandated. I think EVs are practical for people who live in cities. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay. So I will agree with that. Let the free market. I was saying they're stupid because I was going off of the government push.
Well, that's all right. You're entitled to your stupid opinion.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the right opinion, but whatever.
no, I
mean, I agree because if you live in
Yeah.
the city,
I know you agree. That's why I said it.
no, if you live in the city, starting up and going maybe 10 miles a day or whatever for work, like, okay, cool. Like,
That's the thing. Like, it's funny. It's because it's rich white liberals who usually
well, and AOC.
and she.
You can't consider her white.
That's right. Yeah,
'Cause
no,
she's Hispanic.
She's got a hyphenated last name.
Yeah,
Um,
not like a rich white person. has a-
no, never. But they're the ones who afford the electric vehicles.
Sure.
Because they're the ones who, they usually work from home.
Sure.
And when they,
Or own a business.
and they use that car occasionally. They usually have a gas-powered vehicle that supplements the electric. Or I guess I'd say the electric vehicle is more a supplement for the gas-powered vehicle, where they can trade on and off.
Sure.
Most people don't have that luxury. I don't have that luxury.
Yeah. No.
Certainly. Even
but-
with my white privilege, I don't have that luxury.
Well, now you're lying.
Because I don't have white liberal privilege.
Oh,
that's a
well,
different
that's-
category there.
Now, is there white liberal privilege and then just like liberal privilege?
Well, there is. Actually, it's funny you should ask that. Yes, there is. There's
Now,
varying
is there-
degrees of liberal privilege.
Okay, so is there like trans white liberal privilege and then trans black liberal?
The problem is you put white in there.
Yeah, but if you're a trans, I mean, you're checking a lot of boxes.
That's you. You're checking some boxes for sure.
I mean, you're checking more boxes than white liberal privilege.
That's true. But they're the
And
ones.
liberal.
Yeah, they're
privilege.
the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, if you know what, if I was liberal, I probably would be like, yes.
You had to bring us down to the political level, didn't you?
I did.
You
I
just
no,
had to.
Wait, hold on. You're the one that was like, EV cars are actually pretty cool.
I do.
I would totally own one if I was a liberal.
Truthfully, I would own an electric vehicle if it was practical for me. It's not. Most of my traveling is highway miles, which is where electric vehicles are most inefficient. They're most efficient when you're traveling roads where you can brake and regen and capture that regen.
So I said it's because I mentioned the fact that our lovely governor was like, yeah, China, you can come in here, build a plant.
You had to attack Gretsch. You had to do it, you son of a gun.
Not employ any Michigan people and build your electric.
If I may interject here, I think that Gretchen Whitmer did a pretty good job when it came to a lot better than that Ron DeSanctimonious.
Sure.
Rob DeSanctis, as I like to call him, from Florida.
Yeah.
He did not do a good job.
No,
he did. He shut down the whole state.
He did.
He doesn't talk about that. He doesn't talk about that. He did. You know that Gavin Newsom in California did a pretty good job. Andrew Cuomo in New York did a pretty good job.
I think Cuomo though did the best out of all the
He did the best
governors.
out of all of them. You know, I like to stand by those good governors, and Andrew Cuomo was a good governor. Gretchen Whitmer did a lot better job than Rob DeSanctis.
Hey there,
that's what I like to call him because
Drumpster.
I'm very clever.
Drumster, didn't Gretchen Wetchy go down to Florida during the whole?
But that was because she was trying to tell Rob DeSanctis he was not doing a good job.
Okay.
I'd like to call him Rob DeSanctis because I'm very clever.
Yeah.
You didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, you are, Drumster.
When I say Rob DeSanctis, you're like, who?
Yeah. So, anyways, so China's only building a military base in Cuba. So, nothing to see here.
Well, maybe they just want Cuban cigars.
Possibly. I mean,
I've never had. Have you had a Cuban cigar?
No.
Are you a cigar smoker?
Oh yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes.
Why don't we have them here right now?
Yeah. Where's your humidor? Let's go.
I would love to have a humidor.
Fire up those bad boys.
I love a good cigar, and I have never had a Cuban. I've had some good. I had a buddy who went down to Florida, and he brought back some cigars from Florida, which were
almost Cuban.
Primo. Yeah, they're as close to Cuban cigars as I've gotten. Is that racist? I don't know if that's racist. It might be.
No, it's not. But you're like, I like how you're like, he went to Florida, close as I could get to Cuba.
That's about. I almost went to Cuba on a vacation when they opened it up.
Oh yeah,
when Obama opened it up.
When Obama did, he's like, you know what, Cuba's open now.
He did.
I know.
And
I like how Cuba has nothing to say about it. Obama's just like, no, you guys are open. They're like, no, we're still closed.
I think they were like, yes, please, tourism. We need some money. We need to get rid of all of our 1950 cars.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I almost did. Buddy and I had it booked. We had an Airbnb booked. We had a flight booked.
They already had Airbnbs down there?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I guess every other country in the world goes there except for us.
Yeah. And the flight got canceled.
Shocker.
Because they couldn't fill up enough seats on it. No, there were not enough.
Nobody wanted to go to Cuba.
Huh? I don't want to go to a oppressive place, a communist country.
Like if we get stuck here, we're
doomed.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think the flight was canceled. I think the return flight was canceled. So they would fly us down to Cuba.
Just weren't coming
there
back.
was no flight back. I actually think that's what it was. I love that even more.
You look at your buddy, you're like, well, we're swimming.
Yeah. Let's build a raft.
We get to live a real Cuban experience now. You got a cigar hanging out on one side. You're paddling.
Actually, that sounds pretty fun. Get some rum on there with a cigar and a paddle to Florida.
That is Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's
yes.
You
know what?
That's
Book
the
that
American.
flight. I'm doing it with you. Let's do this.
I think we could do it. We'll battle sharks and
as long as we got some Cubans, some rum, and a paddle.
I actually think I'm on board with this. Actually, there's a comedian who has this joke about how as soon as Cubans, and he's Hispanic, so he can make these jokes.
Oh, okay, got it.
As soon as Cubans hit land in America, they instantly become conservative. Which is actually funny because I worked with a Cuban salesman at a job I had, and he was very conservative. And this guy is like, one of his jokes is, as soon as 1 foot hits the dry ground, they're like, no more immigration. But no more.
Yeah. After you? Or
no more.
Okay.
And so I always found that funny. I forget what that comedian's name was. I'd love to give him some credit there, but very funny on how Cubans, as soon as they hit that dry land in Florida, they become conservative.
I always picture immigrants when they hit America, they like kiss the sand and then pop up and just see a giant sign of where they're at, like the Hollywood sign. Only like in Men in Tights, when Robin Hood hit England, he like looked up and it just said England as a sign. Yeah. So I that's every time I hear that type of a story, I'm like, they looked up and saw a sign that said United States.
That's what. Well, we should have that on every shore. To be honest, that's
just huge white.
Triggered.
Boy.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, I think probably we should wrap up the podcast after that.
We're gonna end on huge white.
Well, because you really, you triggered our audience.
Oh.
And they were not ready for that.
Oh, man. Yeah, they weren't.
I apologize profusely.
Yeah. Didn't mean to be so menacing about that.
We've got a...
Are we going to have a meeting about this?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And there's going to be some sensitivity training.
Oh, goody. How long is this meeting?
It's going to be 5 hours.
Sweet.
Yeah, you don't get paid for it either.
No, of course I don't.
That's part of the deal.
Goodness. Is Dylan going to be there at least? With some bush?
Well, he's teaching it, yes.
Oh, he's
teaching She's teaching the class, yes.
So,
well, see, that's why we all need it.
Yeah.
We can't identify somebody.
Unbelievable.
Bud Light will be handed out, though.
Yes.
It's basically free right now.
Yes. And it tastes like water.
Actually,
so
So
I could drink it all day, and
I was not their target audience, so therefore I wasn't offended because I never bought it to begin with.
Yeah. No, so I guess when you hit American shores, you won't see big white letters that say United
You
States.
said it?
Yeah. You know what? I did say it again because I'm menacing. Suck it up, Buttercup.
And just like that, we are at the end of the Menacing Podcast. New and improved. Well, new. It's back. It's back. It's not improved.
Is it improved? Okay.
After the diversity, equity, and inclusion training, it'll be improved.
Yes.
So right now it's not. We haven't gotten that yet.
Promise made and fulfilled.
And promise kept.
Yes.
So we'll be back next week. Hopefully, our third wheel will be with us. El Jefe.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
He's Cuban, isn't he? I think he's
so.
Cuban.
He always brags about it.
He does. He talks about how he did
Cuban.
actually. Yeah,
like,
I came over here on the raft.
Yeah, like roll us a cigar then, bro.
Yeah, you're right. He hasn't brought us any of that.
Yeah.
And no rum.
No rum.
He has not brought us any rum. We're getting a raw deal here.
Yeah, we are. I thought we got a discount if we hired a minority.
We were supposed to get a tax credit.
Yeah, or credit, whatever.
That's
discount, credit.
That's
same thing.
Hasn't come about yet. Well, I'll reach out to the IRS.
Okay, sweet, good. Thank you.
Thank you for listening again, which I got to put together a new outro, so you might get this double, but menacingpodcast@gmail.com. We're still on Facebook. You can find us there. We're going to be back on Twitter.
Oh, sure.
Not sure what the handle is going to be, so I'll update you as soon as we get that. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode of the Menacing Podcast.
Look at the big white letters.